Oh, wow, that's quick.
Here we're here live at the famous Minion Factory, Chaim Vashalom, the main base
Oh, wow.
medrash. Yesterday we left off. We already had 3 sessions on this beautiful siman Tovkuf Pei Dalid, where we're learning about very relevant halachas pertaining to Rosh Hashana. And we're going to begin the Mishna Berura. Last session we spent on the Torah, Shulchan Aruch, the last few sessions. So we're going to start now going through the Mishnah Berurahs and going through some of the details in terms of practical halacha l'maisa. Pretty so the Shulchan Aruch's over here. We'll just review it again. We don't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We don't say Hallel Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We already dealt with why, some of the reasons behind this. Mishnah
Oh,
Berurah
we mentioned
gives the
we
answer.
mentioned Yom Kippur. It's a
No,
Rosh Hashanah, right?
we don't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It says in Shulchan Aruch.
But we said by Yom Kippur
It's the
too.
same
We
Shulchan
know
Aruch that we saw yesterday.
same.
Yes.
All right, fine. Okay.
The Mishnah Berurah provides the answer as to why we don't say Hallel. In Amram Hallel, Lefish, Sifrei Chaim, V'Amesim, Psuchim, Ve'ech Yomer Shira. Because the books of the living and dead are open, and how then would we be able to say a song? How would we be able to say Hallel? We wouldn't be able to do it. It would be impossible. At that time, V'Afagav Shana Besuchim, Betuchim, Shenetze Zachayim B'Din, even though that we have belief. We believe that we will be victorious with our judgment. Nevertheless, a person needs to be uh, fearful from the judgment. Value day Cain, and then through this, we will be remembered for good. In other words, that there is this component of we have to be confident and have proper faith, belief that we will be victorious, but nevertheless, we have to still be fearful. So, not to be overly confident. Okay. It's a relatively straightforward Mishnah Brew over there. And Refuah Shlema, by the way, Rib Shmuel, with your air conditioning issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Ramah continues. The Ramah says, "V'nohagin loimer Avinu Malkeinu." There's a custom to say Avinu Malkeinu. I'll say there on the order. V'im hu Shabbos ein oimrim oisa. If it's Shabbos, then we do not say Avinu Malkeinu. Umarichim b'piyutim b'tfilos ad chatzois, and we have length with the davenings and the piyutim until halachic midday. We say Avinu Malkeinu. There's a fascinating idea that we saw about this Avinu Malkeinu. We saw on the base Yosef, the reason for saying Avinu Malkeinu is they decreed fast, but they weren't answered. Rabbi Akiva gets up and he says, Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha, boom, they were answered. So the gematria, the Mate Moshe says, Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha is equivalent to Akiva ben Yosef Yosad Bazeh. Akiva, the son of Yosef, founded this, which is an incredible gematria. I'll be honest, I did not do the math. I left that for the seasoned accountants. But if we want, we could pull up a calculator and spend a minute or two doing it. But
It's a big gematria.
it's quite a gematria. I would approximate it's probably around 400 or 500, somewhere around there.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
upon him, the Mishnah Brew over here continues. Says, okay, the custom is to say Navin Makina Vaha Oimrim. And those who say Tehillim b'kol yom. People who say Tehillim every single day. Unbelievable. Finish the Tehillim every single day. What a beautiful merit. What a beautiful thing. So those who say Tehillim daily, Misrami lahem halal b'yoyim Rosh Hashana, and halal it happened to be falls out on Rosh Hashanah, v'yom Kippur and Yom Kippur. Shari lo Omer, you're allowed to say it. You're allowed to say it. Kevan she'ein Omer oiso derech shira, rak derech techino bakasha, since it is not being said as a way of song, rather it's a request. So therefore, it's perfectly okay to say it. This is nothing new to us. This is straight out of the Magen Avram. We saw this idea of, yeah, how do we deal with the scenario of someone who says Tehillim every single day if we saw you're not supposed to say Hallel? On Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to say Hallel. It's prohibited to say Hallel. So how then could one say Hallel? Someone who says Tehillim every single day, you get it, you say Hallel. The answer is that there's different ways of saying it. It's not being said as a song, as a shira. And with this, we could tie in the Gemara that says anyone who says Hallel every single day is considered blasphemy. It's not. Because if the person is just saying Tehillim, that's not a shira, that's okay. It's talking about saying Hallel as a shira, as a song. Okay. Nothing very insightful over here. This is really all a different form of review for us. Because we already saw this in the Magen Avram. Oh, this is where I got it from. Okay, here are my secrets revealed right here. It says over here, we know that we're going to be victorious, successful with our judgment, which is why we do laundry before Rosh Hashanah, or why we get haircuts, etc. We wear nice clothing. So over here, look down here. Again would be Shlomo Kluger v'Chachma Shlomo. See this? What does it say over here?
That's what we learned.
Exactly. So that's how I knew a cross reference to that Chachma Shlomo. He says it in short. It's funny because at the end of this footnote it says Ayin Shama Shehirich Bazeh. When
Because he said he was Makatse.
very good, very good. So they call it length, he calls it short. It's all relative, you know? Like you call someone a Talmud Chacham, it's all relative. It's all relative. Talmud Chacham isn't as quick to
Yeah,
call
what's
people Talmidei Chachamim, right? Because it's all relative. Guy who learns Chumash Rashi, he's gonna be pretty quick to call people a Talmud Chacham. Okay. I did give a parsha shir in between Mincha and Maariv last night at the White Shul. I did put it up, just letting you know.
they put it out?
An Akiv, why it's called Akiv.
YouTube or
Yes, it's an interesting name. The heel. Type of name is it? Okay.
well,
Um,
it's also Yaakov's name. I mean Yaakov's name too.
yes, indeed, that is a good point. It is very good, very good. Okay, let's continue with our quest through the siman over here. Allah Seder. Okay, said talking about Avinu Malkeinu Lafuke Medas Rav Beis Yosef. You say Avinu Malkeinu in order. What is this coming to exclude? This is coming to exclude the opinion of the Beis Yosef. Opinion of the Beis Yosef, Shemedalgen b'kol makom shemaz chirchei, that we skip wherever it says sin, we skip. Okay? It's coming to exclude from that, we go in our. According to him, we don't say Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, we sinned before you. Because we don't say vidui on Rosh Hashanah. Kedei shelo yilitin pischain peh l'makatreg, so that we don't give a statement to those who are prosecuting. V'loimar psukim sheish behem hazkaras chait. What about saying psukim that mention sinning? In kapida. There's no worry about that. L'kuliyom, according to everyone. In kapida l'kuliyom. Say psukim that mention sinning, you don't need to worry about that according to everyone. Kivan she'ina derech vidui, since it is not the way of vidui. So we're seeing over here is number one, this base Yosef that we already saw, that there's a potential issue of confession. Not allowed to do that on Rosh Hashana. So maybe leave that line out of Avinu Malkeinu. But saying psukim that mention sinning is no problem because it's not confession. The whole issue is the actual vidui, actual confessing. Perish amachzor mefarish Avinu Malkeinu chatanu l'fnechel kleimar v'asinu chatanu she'ovdu avodas gilulim. An explanation of amachzor, the machzor. It's explained. Avinu Malkeinu, what does that mean? Our ancestors sinned and they worshipped idolatry. And consequently, we have to confess for that. As it says, confess for their sin and the sin of their ancestors. We only have one king, it's you, Hashem. Therefore do for your name, and that will settle our custom that we say it on Rosh Hashana. You need to say okay, you need to say that because a pesha, negligence is much worse than a regular sin. First we have to ask for the more light or lenient sins that we transgress, and then afterwards the more severe. Yishlomer kaleh hachov bepatach, say with a patach ka. Halamed b'tzeri, but the lamed is with the seri. Ataz sim in Tafresh Chav Beis, the Taz towards the end of Hilchos Yom Kippur writes, Kosav Shishlomer Royo Gezar b'neshima achas. You say quickly, Royo Gezar dinenam, in one breath. They're all connected. The Hainu Sheyikra Hu Yizbarach Haroyo should be Gezer, meaning Hashem should tear the bed in the decree. Mashanikra Zeger Yelarachim, that which remains with the decree should be for mercy. Bimu Shabbos, if it's Shabbos. Hatam Shin Sharlim Srachim b'Shabbos. What's the reason that we don't ask for our needs on Shabbos? Okay. Oh, sorry, excuse me. That's why we don't say Avinu Malkeinu on Shabbos, because we don't ask for our needs on Shabbos. V'af kishachal Rosh Hashana be'erev Shabbos, and even when Rosh Hashana falls out on the eve of Shabbos, b'mincha, ein armor Avinu Malkeinu, we still do not say Avinu Malkeinu. Ad Chatzois, who was that? The Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah that said that we daven until midday. That was the Ramah, quoting the Maharil. Says the Mishna Berura, l'kol hapachos. Minimally, you want to go until midday. Being Shabbos, if it falls out on Shabbos, ein laharich yosim mechatzos, don't go more than chatzos. Halachic midday. Don't drag out the davening more than that. During the week, you're able to drag out the davening more than that. What are we talking about? We're talking about putim and the actual davening itself. But for songs, you should not have length in. So it's funny because we didn't see one new thing. Right? We spent 3 sessions properly learning through the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch, and this Mishna Berura, it's like there isn't one new thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You agree, disagree?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see one new thing over here that we didn't already cover. Okay, the Oz V'Hadar Mishna Berura discusses over here. What's the reason that if Rosh Hashana falls out on Shabbos, the davening isn't later than Chatzos Halachik midday? This is what I alluded to the other day, and I was right. Everyone agrees that on Shabbos, half has to be for you. Half has to be indulging in the physicalities of the day, in the gashmias, eating, drinking, and therefore you don't want to stretch out the davening too much because it will take away from that. That's what the Yam Shel Shlomo writes. V'herich sham levar madu b'Rosh Hashanah shar yosim echatzois. He has length to explain why it's permissible even after Chatzos in Rosh Hashanah. The girl says that Rosh Hashanah is like any other holiday. And therefore, even when it falls out during the week, you don't want to have too much length. Similarly, the Chai Adam writes that we have length in our davening until midnight, until midday, but not more. So we see this idea of it's like another yontif. You don't want to go too long.
Is it a
The,
question of
the,
too
the
late or
Chai
just
Adam caps it
arichas?
at halachic midday chatzos. Yeah, what'd you say?
It's a question of being going too late and stretching into the day, or just they're concerned about arichas. Like they don't want to have it davening go to like just stretching out davening. Like you could just start earlier.
Yeah. Starting earlier would not be an issue. The issue specifically is keeping people there
Yeah,
after halachic midday, after chatzos.
and
That's
also you
going
have
to be the ikar kaped over here.
we still have a chiyuv of shalosh shuddas, right? Even Rosh Hashanah, right? Not
Shalosh
regular.
Judas? No, only on Shabbos.
I'm saying yeah, but no, I'm saying when Rosh Hashanah is on Shabbos.
If Rosh Hashanah falls out on Shabbos, then
No,
you still have
she
Shalosh
he
Judas.
B'Shabbat, but you don't have a chiv, so you that could be a reason to start the day, finish davening earlier on Shabbos, right?
Start the day
Not really. I
earlier
mean,
on Shabbos.
I mean, it's not so much. I don't know when Shkia is on
Yeah,
Rosh
not,
Hashanah, but it's
not
not so.
necessarily. That's not an issue because you have time later in the day. The issue over here is that you're going to keep people too long. You're going to keep them not eating more, and you're supposed to be eating on Shabbos, especially on Shabbos.
Yeah.
The point of this footnote over here, which is a very
Mhm.
valid point, is
Yeah.
even if Rosh Hashanah doesn't fall out on Shabbos, you know,
Halach l'maaseh, right? It's this year, so we have
Halacha L'maaseh, yeah, it does fall out on Shabbos, so you're going to see the first day is going to
no
be
shofar.
shorter. Oh,
So we got to be finding it.
Also the shofar takes time.
No
So that
shofar this year. No shofar,
correct
first
on the
day.
first day. So that saves around 15 minutes or so. It's not
Yeah. Well,
monumental, 15, maybe 20 minutes with the announcements and everything. But
I'm guessing we're going to be seeing other shittas here because the yeshivas definitely go to like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
okay, yeah. So that's where it comes from. That's what David was talking to me about off the video.
what did I say? I don't remember.
Your classic Shiloh that you like handling is making kiddush on Rosh Hashanah in shul, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's a big shiloh, right? Have a chila
right. So
before.
basically, what ends up happening nowadays is that places that
Yeah.
do have longer davenings end up going for the kiddush because you can't keep people. I was told during the whole incident when there were hostages in Gaza, don't use the word hostage. It's not a good word. But now you could use it. There's no hostages, right? So you're keeping people hostage in shul, so to say, right? Meaning
Mhm.
people are hungry. You keep them there until 2 o'clock. You can't. It's not normal to do that, right? It's way after lunchtime, and so that's basically where it comes from over here of
So why don't the
doing
yeshivas
that.
just start? Well,
The
how early
question
could the
is that
yeshivas start?
preferable? Is that preferable? So personally, right now, I'm not tied down to be anywhere Rosh Hashanah. Pretty much every day of the year, I'm tied down to be in multiple locations on a daily basis, based on commitments that I have with charusas and we learn together. For example, 9:15. I have a time commitment to that, etc. But on Rosh Hashanah, I'm very free. I can do whatever I want. So what I've been doing over the years, I daven at Vasikin. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You get out of all these issues. I think in general, it's halachically better for numerous reasons. I mean, it's reason magdim and mitzvahs. It's always preferable to daven Vasikin anyways. Especially you have the
Always,
mitzvah
always, yeah.
shofar. Best to do the mitzvah shofar as early as possible.
Yeah.
I think the rebuttal not to daven Vasikin would be Vasikin isn't going to have as much hislavos. There's not as many
Mhm.
people. There's not going to be a cold tefillah. When there's a big qualitative difference in the davening when there's only 30 people at a Vasikin minyan, 40 people versus 300-400 people at a main minyan. The davening is much louder. The singing is much nicer. So something to contend with that, but you have to know if someone isn't going to be eating before davening, which we're not supposed to be eating before davening in halachos and in peites. It's hard to maintain focus when a person doesn't really eat anything until 12 o'clock. It's long. 12:30. It's long. It's tiring. It's hard to maintain that focus. So that's exactly what this is discussing over here. Okay. From this language, it's implied that it's permissible to stretch the davening until after halachic midday. Not when Rosh Hashana falls out on Shabbos, when Rosh Hashana falls out during the week. But you don't need to do this. From the beginning of the Mishna Berura, when he says until midday, minimally, it's implied from there that it's fitting to have length on this. So the Machasis Shekel already points out that first the Maharil is being quoted, and then the Yam Shel Shlomo is being quoted. It seems like their end time for davening is different. Machasis Shekel explains, you're right. They're saying different things. So like the Magen Avram also quotes this. Binigunim ein laharich. The Magen Avram kasav b'shem Yam Shel Shlomo masha richim achazan binigunim ein zeh lemechatzi l'Hashem lemechatzi l'chem. Wow. The Magen Avram, not in our siman, in another place. This is a siman that is actually on my immediate hit list to learn. So it's such a beautiful siman. It's so packed. It's easy, but it's so relevant. Siman Tov Kuf Chav Tes, the end of Hilchos Yom Tov. So over there, the Magen Avram quotes the Yam Shel Shlomo, who says that which the Chazanim, they drag out their davening with songs, it's a bad thing. That's not considered a spiritual pursuit or a physical pursuit. It's not Chatzi Lachem either way, Chatzi Lashem. And it's not good. Pretty harsh type of language.
I mean, some people go to Minyanim Dafka for the singing.
Okay, so if they do, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But there are other people who are stuck there.
Shabbatones
Lo
and
hein
musical
v'lo
shot.
yisacharon. If you take a poll of an anonymous poll of a couple hundred people there, how many people would prefer that there's less singing? You get out an hour and a half earlier. Okay, especially in New York. I think I know what the answer is going to be. I just want to say one ha'ara before we start Sif Beis, based on I have to give credit where credit's due. Moshe Greenberg pointed this out to me. Give him a shout out. And he also watched the Tuba of Shir. That Sif Beis talks about the laning for the first day of Rosh Hashanah. So the question is, what about the second day Rosh Hashanah? What's the laning for the second day Rosh Hashanah? The answer is it's not in the siman. Okay, it's going to come up later on in another siman. If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was Tuf Kuf Reisha Tough Reisha Aleph, I think it was something like that. It's going to come up later. And because there's going to be different halachas that are needed for the second days in terms of davening and other aspects. So it's dealt with in another place. That's why it's not grouped together over here. I mean, the laning's in the Gemara, what we lane also. So wanted to point that out. Okay, Sif Beis discusses what we do in the laning motzin shnei sifrei Torah. Bechad chayrein chamisha me'Hashem b'kavod tzara ad vayhi achar dvar ma'ilu. Okay, we learn about Sarah. V'imhu Shabbos, Korim Bo Shiva, if it's Shabbos, then we lean 7 aliyahs, after Korim B'Sheni B'Parshas Pinchas, from after you do Pinchas B'Chodesh Hashvi, after Vihi, Yish Echad Min Time. We read about Shmuel for Haftarah. That on Chana was the infertility ended. Some places they call up the person who blows shofar, part of the aliyahs. Call him up to get an aliyah.
It's almost sometimes it's I feel it's almost like a one man. I'm saying there's nothing wrong. Obviously, it's it's uh but it's almost like a one man show. And like he's the boss. Okay, he's like
Okay,
he's
so
getting knocked.
that does happens. That does happen. I've actually seen it. It happens every single year in the Vasikan minyan in the White Shul. It's around 150 people at that minyan, and the person who blows shofar also does lane. There is such a concept. The question is
And he gets maftir.
the question is on that, should he get two aliyahs or not? I would assume not to get two aliyahs. And the
And
question
sure,
becomes, is that practically smart to do because it takes energy to blow shofar and to lane. And
yeah.
that could affect the shofar blowing based on if you're using up your limited energy on shofar, right? So it actually happened one year. He said he just didn't have enough energy. He just couldn't do both, which I think makes sense. You should try to split it up. Why not? Hashem pakad lafisha Rosh Hashana Mishna Berura Vav Nifged Sara Rachel V'chana. Right, that's when they started with the children, having the children. Shiva 7 if it falls out on Shabbos. Umosifin. And we add lasso shtei parshios on two parshios. We add over here achas b'migamal esitzuk shni b'asher husham. Okay, those two parshas shvi. That's what you add on Shabbos shvi. Adi shel Hashem until there, and b'midbar chav tes vav. Bim tov v'yishlam parsha barbar kiru moshe shloshav adaim lomar kadosh. Let's say you made a mistake, and you only called up. You only had four or maybe even three aliyahs. You messed up and you didn't say kaddish. So then you should complete the amount of who's getting called up over there on the parsha of Akedah afterwards. You should complete it over there. Imam Kaddish, if you already said Kaddish, if you just miss one aliyah in Tzarech Lichus, you don't need to read Yismach al Mapfir, just rely on the Mapfir. You can't consider Shari Yifayim. That's what the Shari Yifayim says. Shuvah Chsam Sofer, Chilik Orachaim, Simin, Kuf Samachtes, cause of the Imish in the Parsha Barbo. The Chsam Sofer argues that if you finish with only four aliyahs, Yom Kaddish Arachir Shikr B'Sifra Turish Nivigiyam after the Chamisha. Do not say Kaddish until after you lane from the second Sefer Torah. And the maftir will count for the fifth aliyah. The kaimalan, because we hold maftir oil, the minyan of kruah, maftir will count for the amount of people who get aliyahs. Im tov v'kara b'yoyim rishon b'parshas akid. If you made a mistake and you said on the first day, the parsha of the Akedah Yatsa, you fulfill your obligation. And then you would say on the second day about Sarah. So in other words, the second day we learn about Akedah. First day is Sarah with the birth. If you switched it up, so then switch it up on the second day. Do what you're supposed to do on the first day. Began Parshas Akedah, so Sidros, the Parsha of Akedah, until the end of that section. So you would actually do both on the second day. You make up the first day and do the second day as well. Double trouble. Nevertheless, if you remembered when you were still reading the parsha of the Akedah that you made a mistake and you still didn't say the bracha after when you got the Leo Liglo V'Yikra Imo Parshas Hashem Pakar Ad Soifo. So then you would roll and read that parsha that you were supposed to say that day in the first day of Rosh Hashana with Sarah. Ad Soifo until then, and then you say the bracha afterwards. Mater Ephraim v'Shar Ephraim. Oh, Kosov. I don't know why I didn't underline that. That's a pretty relevant thing. Meaning relevant if it happened and make a mistake. That's the bottom line halacha right there. Oh, Kosov Mater Ephraim. The Mater Ephraim writes, Roy Lokol Gever. Oh, there's a famous Mater Ephraim. Roy Lokol Gever Yirah Hashem. It's fitting for any male who fears Hashem lehishtadel to strive sheyelo aliyah b'yam noraim to get an aliyah during these days of awe. V'af makom shemoicher mitzvos. You can even in a place where they're selling it, you should buy it. You can also bedamim kifiyach also buy it for money according to your financial ability. On the contrary, there is a halachic preference. It's preferable a mitzvah that comes to your hand that costs money rather than a mitzvah that comes to your hand that doesn't cost money. It's better when there's money involved with the mitzvah. If a person is there's two ways of performing a mitzvah, and one is with money and one is without. It's better without with money.
Sorry, where are we
Practically,
looking
I
right
don't
now?
really know what that is. What'd you say?
No, okay, fine. No, no. Where are we looking right now? Where is I see it on the who is saying this? Sorry.
What with the money? Right here in the
Yeah.
bottom of Ches.
Yeah, no. All right, fine.
It's hard to highlight it. I can try over here.
I got it. No, it's fine. I see it. I got it.
Yeah. You see it?
I got it. I see it. Yep.
Yeah, here.
What's the
Over here,
special
this way.
concept of,
Pardon
of
me?
getting an what's the special concept of getting an aliyah to the Torah? I mean, they're obviously saying it's a great
The
thing.
the answer is that number one, it's a very auspicious time. It's a very holy time. And specifically at that time, getting Aliyah is important, coupled with the fact that when there's money involved.
So about on a weekday, just Stamazai getting aliyah also is something special without paying
Getting
for it?
getting an Aliyah is always special, but it's especially special here.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
Just never, yeah.
yeah. And then coupled with the fact that it's chashuv to spend money on a mitzvah. It's a special thing. It's okay.
It looks
Yesh
like
gumish in a huggin. Likros gamas pal musaf. Some places they call up the chazan for musaf. V'chein b'yom kippurim. Kohen so also in Yom Kippur they call him up. Mishnot oschar tekiyot tefillin a huggin lekroisim. Someone who's going to get paid for blowing shofar or laning the or davening. The custom is not to call him up. Siv Gimel, we already saw Bnei Adam HaChavushim Beis Asur Me'Meviim Etzem Sefer Torah Afilu B'Rosh Hashanah Kippurim. Prisoners who are incarcerated in prison, you don't bring them a Sefer Torah from Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Ramah says, look earlier, Ayin Lal Sof Siman Kuf Lamed Hey, look in the halachas of laning over there for more details. Sif Yud Dalid, the Mishna Berura says, Ba'agah Sham Ba'er. Over there, it is explained. We're going to try to finish the Mishna Berura in this whole siman. Oh, I didn't realize Dalid is a little bit bigger. Okay. Yeah. Over there, it's explaining Kama Pratim Shemishana Zedzin. Details with this halacha in Sham Mishna Berura Be'er halacha. One detail about that halacha was that we saw that if the Torah was brought to them before, then it would be permissible. Can't just bring it in out from the jail somewhere else. Don't do that. If it was brought there before, there's higher Kodesh, it's fine. Sif Dalit. Mullen. See if we could finish this whole Mishnah Berura 100 words in under 100 seconds. Bain kriyas ha-Torah l'tkiya shofar. You do mila between laning and shofar. Okay. Ready to go fast?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
The Kacha Seder Bris Avram is the order. First, you have the Bris from Avram, Shiamilu, which is a Milu Akedis Yitzchak. Then you have the Bris Yitzchak, the Akedis Yitzchak, aka the Shofar, like we saw in the Beis Yosef, Kedamim Rosh Hashanah. As the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Tazayin asks, Lama Toikin B'Shalaya, why do we use specifically a ram's horn? They lahazkir top of the page over here in order to mention Ilu Shal Yitzchak, the ram of Yitzchak. V'od, furthermore, the Milu Motzu Yosim and Tekiah, told your Dam Yilu Gabi Tekiah, do Koidim. Furthermore, Mila is more common than Shofar, and therefore it proceeds because Tadir Kodem, whatever is more common, proceeds. Welcome Shanhagan Lamul, but by Yeshatino Ksham, in the place where it's the custom to do the Mila in the house where the child is. Malan Achir Sim basic concept, we do the Mila after leaving Shul, Kadeshul Yatir Chaditzibur, so that it won't be a burden for the congregation. Leilech Sham to go over there, Velishus Lachil basic classes to delay over there, then to go back to Shul. Nevertheless, if the house is not far from the shul, and there won't be a delay and a burden for the congregation, such as, let's say, for example, the house is across the street, then it's good to perform the milah before shofar in order that you will have the merit of the milah at the time of tekiah, and better to keep the status quo in order, as we said above, as an importance. So tekiah shofar, next Mishnah Berura Yud Beis, Shabbat Shein Shem tekiah shofar malamach Ashrei. On Shabbos, when there is no shofar, then we do the milah after Ashrei.
Where did you I hear Tirchat Tzibur, where do we stop it at to?
What'd you say?
No, I'm following the Mishnah Berura, but
Mishnah Berura Yud Beis now.
Yud? Oh, fine. All
Yud Beis.
right.
Ubeshabbos she'ein sham tekiah shofar malan acher Ashrei. On Shabbos, when there's no shofars, then you do the milah after Ashrei. V'achar milah ubirchaseh oimrim yahalelu. And after the milah and the brachos, then we say yahalelu. V'yesh mi shekatzav shegam b'shals man dukol b'ashrei kishkol she'ehefsek rav lakadosh. Some say even on Shabbos we perform the milah before Ashrei, so that there won't be an interruption between a big interruption by that kaddish there. כשחל מילה בראש השנה בשבת זורמים יום לבשה קודם תהיה ברכת גלושי שבח למילה וכשחל ראש השנה בכל יום לבשה. When Mila falls out on Rosh Hashana and Shabbos, and we say Lam Yabasha before the completion of the bracha of the Geula, which is praised on the Mila. But when Rosh Hashana falls out during the week, then we would not say it. One gadol had the custom that when he was a moel on Rosh Hashanah, he didn't wipe his mouth after the milah. Rather, his mouth that was dirty with the dam of the milah. That's what he blew the shofar with. To mix the mitzvahs of milah and shofar together. Seems, says the Mishna Berura, quoting the Mater Ephraim, you should still wipe your mouth on the outside. V'gam yirchatz yadav, also wash your hands. Shum covered a bracha because of covered for the bracha. Washing on the outside would remove the issue of the chatzitza, as we alluded to the other day. So Mir Hashem, tomorrow we will continue.
Question on the aliyahs again. He didn't mention anything about what number aliyah is best, right? Maftir, shlishi. Seems like any aliyah is good.
No difference.
On Rosh
Wait,
Hashana,
that's in general. That's
in general, they say that in our circles, apparently shlishi is the most important. They say in
shlishi and shishi.
They say with Hasidim say that the aliyah of shishi is the most important. A different minhagim.
The Mishna Berura didn't say anything, so each one is important.
No, we didn't see anything. That's going to come up in the halachas of Kriya Satire, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Gosh.
All right. Good learning, Mitzvah Shem. Tomorrow we'll continue.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.